Hello? What is up, everybody? It's your boy, Sam Hank. This is my review of The Walking Dead, Season 5, Episode 12. This is my review slash my thoughts. Now, my thoughts, I'm going to say at the end, my review is this. Essentially, it is the group settling down in a gated community. It is them coming to terms, yo, this is this is us now. No more killing walkers, no more getting too time by people. This is us. And I like how Carr says it best. He says, "This place will make you weak." What it means is that you guys are going to get weaker out there on the road. They, you know, they do what they have to do, but now they're in a place where no, no, it's they have jobs now, and essentially they can do what they want. Um, in the this episode, we meet a lady. I believe her name was we got started with a D. I was gonna say Daryl, but Doreen. We meet her, and so far, um, I feel like that she's up to something. From what they said in this episode, she was a Congress lady. So that means she has some innate ability to manipulate people. And the reason I say manipulate people is because she looks like the type of person that would manipulate you to get what she's trying to get. So if I have a can of peas, she will manipulate me to give up that can of peas, and she would make me do it. Now, first and foremost, Ricochet. Rick looks awesome. Just looks really, really cool. I will miss the beard. I truly will miss the beard. Now, my review, I said a little bit of my thoughts. Now, my review is this: the group is just settling in. They're just settling in, getting accustomed to everything, and essentially that's about it. They're just getting ready and just getting used to it. Now, that's it. This is the simplest that I can say it to you guys in this format. Now, my thoughts. I gave you guys a little bit in the beginning. Now I'm gonna give you my full interpretation. This episode, most people are not gonna like this episode because it was slow. There was a little bit of action, but there wasn't as much. Now, personally speaking, I think that this episode, even though it was a setup episode, it was a very great setup because this episode was like a horror movie. We're building up the tension to get everybody ready to cry. We're getting the building up the tension to get everybody hyped. And the thing about this is, I don't know how to say it. It's just I was hyped for this episode because this episode was like cutting a piece of cake and giving it away to people. But then you find out that, yo, I think I might have ate too much cake. I love the parts where, I was about to say Carl, no, with Carl, where he has a hard time adjusting. But the weird thing about it is Carol doesn't. She doesn't have a hard time adjusting. And that's a little strange to me. Because does this mean that Carol has been unaffected by what she's had to do? That for her going back to a easy lifestyle is easier versus Carl, who practically has grown up, a good 2 years in this. That for him it's hard, for her it's easy. Now that's what I want to nitpick about this is because, yo, these characters are either so great actors that they have small minutes that in the comics that are great indicators of how they are as a person, or would myself as a person, in the real world, be like that? Because I'm thinking in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, yo, she has an angle. This lady constantly has an angle. And Rick says at the end, either we're going to work to fit with them, or we're going to take this place by force. And I like how he says that too, because first and foremost, he has a really good point. Like when they were at the prison, they were able to bring people in, and even now, those people from the prison are with them. And the same thing is that Rick's group has been able to bring the people and to fit in the groove, them to take over this new community. Because just like if they take over the new communities better, they can do this much better. And I like that. The one thing about this episode that I didn't like was the girl not liking. I know that was the character, but I didn't like the fact that she was just mean to Carl. She was just a very mean person to him. That's the only thing I didn't like. But everything else I liked. Everything else was awesome. And it was a really great episode. Just a really great episode. And I liked this episode, man. This episode was cool. It was a very quiet setup for next week's episode. Now, the lady, I cannot get her name to save my life. I want to say Denise, Deborah, Shante. She's not even black, but still a black name actually works in this situation. This lady, I know she has an ulterior motive. I know she has something up her sleeve. I know she has something. Apparently, if you read the comics, like I was reading this article and it explained that someone had actually read the comics. That they read the comics and that in the comics everything's different versus on the TV show, and I like that. I truly do like that, because if they stick to everything as it is, then be a little honest here. Be a little honest here. They stick to everything. Everybody's gonna be able to figure out what happens, and if you stick to the comics, they're gonna just figure out what happens, and boom, show won't be that interesting. But they're not doing that. Now I haven't read any of the comics. I've done some Wikipedia's pages. That's about it. So I don't know what actually happens in the comics, and I think that's a good thing. So back to what I was saying before. The article I read was this guy had read ahead in the comics, and he was saying how in the comics it's different. Rick actually loses his hand earlier from the governor, and etc. Michonne actually gets assaulted in the comics. You guys know what I'm trying to say. That actually happens multiple in the comics where, for example, they can show that on TV because, that's extremely graphic. Just different things in different comics. And that this episode was just a setup. One, this episode was a setup, and two, I can't wait for next week's. This episode was like just a creepy old person looking at you, and you can't figure out why he's still looking at you. It was strange and weird, but I liked it. And I think that's the great thing about this episode was it had its own appeal. It just had its own appeal. It was just incredible. So before I end this, just loved it. I should have brought some popcorn with me though. Should have brought some popcorn. Next week's episode from the previews looks hectic as crazy. It looks awesome, but hectic as crazy. So that's all I want to say. Have a blessed day, guys. I love you. I'm out. I know I was supposed to do a Jotun live stream. No, Jotun live stream. I was actually supposed to do a Jotun video. The reason I haven't done that is because I've been working on hard from 12 o'clock to now. So I will do that tomorrow. Now, on a side note, I have spring break next month. I have spring break next month. Not next month. I have spring break next week. So I have a couple of extra videos I want to put out. See how they go. Before I always go, please have a blessed and amazing night. Be safe, enjoy yourself, and never forget, if zombies try to kill you, stab them in the face. That's all.